this would be a mistake if we are trying to do a professional world map or reflect some continents. But remember, we are just starting. Hello everybody, welcome back to the first episode of this tutorial. As I already explained in the introduction video, we will start with making a small island and learn the practical steps of making a fantasy map in Wonderdraft. So I'm starting with creating a new map. I will make it 1000 to 1000 because remember, smaller the step, the better and easier the progress is, and you will not get frustrated by the size of the map, by adding or trying to add lots of details to it. So let's start small. I'm keeping the paper theme and I will use dot assets, waiting for it to open. If this is your first time seeing any of my videos and you are not familiar with Wonderdraft, so the tool that I'm using, basically it is a tool that allows you to make fantasy maps even if you don't know how to draw. In this tutorial, I'm not going to share information about how to use these tools, how to use that brush, etc. For that, I have a dedicated separate tutorial where I explain how Wonderdraft works. So please, from somewhere on the link, maybe at the end. I'm just new to this YouTube thing, so somewhere there's going to be an information about that. In worst case, just go to my profile and find that tutorial, learn how Wonderdraft works. It takes around 2 hours to finish that. But don't worry, it's not like a very difficult. If I can do it, everybody can do it. And then jump back here and start your fantasy cartography journey. So getting back to the topic, now we have our first map. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce this effect because I don't like when it is too much. On big maps, if you have this higher, it will be fine. You will get away with it because the overall size is too much. But when the map is small, I think this overdoes it. It's too much. So I'm going to remove it somewhere here. And as a starting point, guys, we need to ask two questions to ourselves. What kind of island we want and what is the scale of our island? So determining these two things are essential to not get lost in the process, because if you want to make a huge island and you start small, you'll be like, wait, I'm unable to add as much detail as I wanted because you didn't determine the scale. And the same thing goes for determining the kind of island that you want. For now, I'm keeping it small and I'm just gonna make a simple island where there is maybe one or maybe two different biomes. And I'm starting with my coastlines. If you are completely new, what you can do is you can create a generic shape and start carving and adding things on top of it and create your unique shape. Or if you want to save time, you can just make Wonderdraft create it like this and then work on top of it. This will save you some time, but because the goal is to practice and learn to make maps, use this only if you really need to save so much time. I'm gonna revert this. I want to create it myself, but there is an option like that, guys, so it's a tip for you. I'm starting with the coastlines. This is the second step. The first was determining the size and the style. The second is creating the coastlines. So I'm gonna quickly use my brush to carve it out, maybe get in there a bit here and there. And at first, one of the things that I can suggest is don't be detail oriented, because again, we are practicing now. We are not making a map to represent our precious world. We are just learning. So don't be in love with your creations. Delete them. Don't care about them. Like, I didn't like it. Delete. Remake. Don't spend so much time on just, you know what, I will create the perfect looking coast in this. No. Be hard with it. Be harsh. Use careless brush strokes. Because, to be honest, being a perfectionist sometimes is very good to achieve some quality, but sometimes it will stop you from achieving anything. Considering we just started making our maps, I don't think perfectionism is what we should go with. So I'm just quickly here and there adding some shape, keeping it like somewhere here, because our overall size is so small. I don't want to go into like too much detail. Maybe later on I can play with this to make some parts just like this, like a bit more harsh, and some parts a bit more, even more roundier, smooth. This looks really nice so far. Be practical. I know it's easier said than done, but if you can manage to care less about your creations, trust me, you will develop faster, you will proceed faster. Why? Because the more maps you make, the quicker you will get better at it. So don't be stuck in one map, don't be stuck in one coastline. Experiment different things, make different things, try different things. And to answer those first two questions that we asked, I can say that I will go with a small scale. So probably this will contain only one community, maybe one kingdom, maybe not even a kingdom, maybe this is just going to be a region that belongs to a kingdom. So I'm trying to start as small as possible. In terms of the detail amount, I will try to fit just a few settlements and like big settlements and some few small settlements. So I'm not gonna try to add here 50 million cities and capitals and different heraldries. I'm not gonna try to label everything here also. Everything that you do, each step is another story to practice. So it's why I'm not only gonna keep it simple with the coastline, I'm trying to keep it simple with all the steps. And I'm just about to be done. And as a reminder, if you didn't like some part, you can always carry it around and try different shapes, just like this. Don't forget that it is not only about adding and removing chunks of lens. You can literally rotate the lens, cut the lens, copy the lens. Don't forget these features, guys. Okay, I think this looks nice. For a small place that we are trying not to get lost with details, I think this is quite nice. As you can see, like we already have a few types of features that the island has, like some sharpy, roughy islands, or a chain of islands here, a bay, and like different levels of roughness on the coastlines, some smaller islands here and there, and the overall shape is quite interesting. Okay, so far this coastline looks nice. One thing that this could make some professionals not happy with it is that we literally centered this on the frame, and if anybody sees this and thinks that this is a world map or continent or something like that and it's perfectly centered, yes, this would be a mistake if we are trying to do a professional world map or reflect some continents. But remember, we are just starting, so centering things and making small islands should not be an issue. It's not something wrong. So those kind of things, remember, should not demotivate you when you are first starting to make maps. And I think I'm done with this one. Let me just add a little more detail here. Okay, so let me quickly check my notes. And yes, so first determine the mechanics of the island or your map or the place that you will reflect. And the scale, we already did. We're not going to add too much detail and we're keeping the canvas size small. We sketched out the basic shape. We refined the coastlines. While I'm talking, I started carving it and added some details. And the final step, guys, it's a secret step. I will not make that step right now, but you should know it, is to trash it. If I didn't like it, if I'm not happy with it, especially in the future when you are making some maps for your stories instead of just making maps to practice, remember that you always have the option to trash it. Don't fall in love with your creations. If you didn't like any part, don't be afraid that you cannot make it better again. You can always achieve it. You can always make things better. So there's a secret step, trashing it. After every step on a map, coastlines, forests, mountains, just because you spend some time on it, don't be bound to it. Just remember, don't keep deleting it. If it is 15 times you're making it, then there's a problem. Then it will be a waste of time and it will stop your progress. So as long as you have the balance there, don't worry about deleting, don't worry about removing things. On the next episode, I will start adding the major topographical features, starting with mountains. So let's jump right there to learn and make good looking maps. See you on the next video, guys. Thank you for watching.